Alright, so we got a lot to talk about on this one. I just got home from watching the Sonic movie, and it actually wasn't horrible. Just like 2017, 2020 is supposed to be a really big year for Sonic. Not just this movie, but also they announced on like the Sonic YouTube channel that they were going to have a Sonic related announcement on the 20th day of every month this year. Hopefully, one of which will lead into a new game that's actually good, unlike Sonic Forces, to kind of bring Sonic out of the fact that he's leaning over his own grave. And this movie was actually the first step of that, and I'm also hoping that because of the appreciation that fans have for this movie, as well as the amount of money they made, will actually help bring Sonic back and will encourage them to actually make a good game. But we are talking about Sonic Team here, so we really don't know if that's even possible. But I have a few comments about videos I've made in the past on the subject, as well as things in the movie itself. So we'll start there. First thing is, the movie was good. It was incredibly generic, but it wasn't horrible. Like, not only is it a Sonic movie, so standards are already very low because of many of the games, and especially the most recent Sonic Forces. Team Sonic Racing doesn't count. But even lower because it's a video game movie, and like all video game movies, they suck. I will only watch a video game movie if it relates to a game that I actually like. I won't just watch any video game movie. The last one I actually watched was the Prince of Persia movie because I loved Prince of Persia, but the movie was a pile of shit. And people were expecting the same thing here. The movie's not great at all. But it's not bad either, but it is generic, and despite being generic, it's still pretty good. The first thing is, it got a pretty high audience score. It was at 95% last week, but now it's at 94%. Not a big change, not a big deal. But the critic rating was only 63%, and it still is now. And what I find hilarious is the reason why they hate it. The reason why the majority of critics hated the movie is not because the movie itself was bad, but because it did better than Birds of Prey. The movie actually made like $100 million in the first weekend or something like that. That's incredible. And Birds of Prey flopped because it was another SJW feminazi bullshit, just like everything else. I actually saw people saying like, Birds of Prey is a movie with females made for females. Well, you fucking said it, right? I'm sure Birds of Prey isn't that bad at face value, but we do know that it has SJW pandering behind it, and that's what makes anything modern bad, primarily. And the thing is, people were angry because a Sonic movie that's not pandering, God forbid, got a better rating. And that's why they were angry. But what makes it hilarious is that they're not just angry because of the traditional SJW racism, sexism, that kind of stuff like it usually is. At least when those cases happened, it's with actual human beings. Now they're jealous of a fucking CGI blue rat. When they're jealous of that, you know that it's really fucking bad. So with that out of the way, let's talk about a few other things here. In the movie, a lot of weird things were changed or completely removed. This scene here, I'll replay it from the trailer. Check this out.
How are you not dead?
I have no idea!
So right there, when he does that little dance, that was removed from the movie. Technically, it's still in the movie, but it was changed to when that little girl handed him the shoes. He does that dance on the table, and when he's next to the robot on that scene that you just saw, he actually flosses instead. I don't know why it was changed, but it was. And in the movie, he flosses twice, which was absolutely cringe beyond belief. Another thing that was removed, if we go back to the original trailer with this horrid-looking Sonic, this dialogue...
Look at this! I took 9 million steps today.
That is also taken out of the movie completely. Often in trailers, they'll take a line from a different part of the movie and put it somewhere else just to make it look good. Well, that line wasn't moved to a different spot. It was taken out completely. He does not say that anywhere in the movie whatsoever. The other thing I want to say is a lot of people are praising Ben Schwartz for his voice acting. And it was not bad by any means. I actually liked it. But Roger Craig Smith is way better. Of course, Jason Griffith was fantastic for Sonic Unleashed, and many Sonic games before that. But I do like Roger Craig Smith quite a bit. I don't know why he gets so much hatred. He's been Sonic's voice actor ever since Sonic Colors, and he's pretty good. Like, you know, a lot of the games haven't been great. Unleashed, well, it didn't have Roger, but Colors was great, Generations was great, Lost World was okay, Forces was, and of course, and Sonic Boom was also shit. But I like Roger's voice, and I think the reason I like Roger is because in my opinion, of course, many people like Ben, many people like Roger, and it's fine. But in my opinion, Roger actually does capture Sonic's personality really well. He captures the cockiness, the maturity. He doesn't capture the emotion of like sadness or worrying very well, but he does it okay. But Sonic's like main personality trait is his confidence and cockiness, and Roger does that actually really well, in my opinion. The other thing about the movie that I didn't like is that the entire thing is just Sonic complaining. The majority of his lines, when he's not telling incredibly immature and juvenile jokes, is complaining. All he does is complain on and on and on about how he's so lonely, he has no friends, he has no life, his whole life is spent in a cave. And I do understand that's a very important aspect for the story because he's alone, he's trying to find his place, I get that. But it doesn't need to be the entire fucking movie. I mean, it's constant. If he's not telling a joke, he's complaining. In this movie, Sonic has two things. He either tells a joke or he complains. There's nothing else. He's constantly complaining. And I mean, yes, he does have some of Sonic's personality, the cockiness, the confidence, all that kind of stuff, but for me, when I was watching it, it's severely drowned under his constant whining and complaining. I also didn't like how whenever he gets really upset, he for some reason gets Cole McGrath's powers from Infamous and becomes electric. Please tell me which Sonic game that comes from. I get it's a movie and they're trying some new stuff, but it didn't come from anywhere. It just happened. It happens on the baseball field in the beginning of the movie, and then it happens at the end when he's like almost dead and then immediately gets up to fight Eggman. But like, why is he electric? Where does it come from? How does he have the power of electricity? All of a sudden he's coal. I don't get where the electricity comes from. It's not bad by any means, it's just really unfitting. And I don't know where this sudden power comes from. Or why the power seems to happen when he's sad, or in terms of the end of the movie, it happens through the power of friendship. Which, of course, we're back to that generic Sonic forces, the power of friendship will defeat you, Infinite. Like, enough of that shit. But aside from that, the movie is generic. I should mention that I also didn't like, but we all knew this from the trailer, there are no badniks. Nothing. The robots that Eggman controls are just regular generic robots, but they're not badniks. When I saw the trailer, I knew there wouldn't be badniks, but I was hoping when we saw Green Hill, there would at least be badniks in Green Hill, but there wasn't that either. You don't see badniks at all for the entire movie, but they are referenced once that I noticed. But he doesn't actually have badniks. They're just regular robots, but they're not badniks. He never calls them badniks. They don't look like badniks. They're not fucking badniks. But yeah, I've made videos in the past talking about all this before. I made an original reaction to the trailer, and then I made a reaction to the redesigned trailer, as well as the redesign of Sonic. And that you can see that in this video here, Sonic movie redesign and trailer. It's an old video I made. Check it out if you like. But speaking of the redesign, that was actually the greatest idea they ever had. I do believe wholeheartedly that one single decision saved the entire movie. If Sonic had the original design they went with, oh my god, that alone, never mind the fact that Eggman looks like crap the whole movie, if they went just with that awful original design, that alone would have put the final nail in Sonic's coffin. The movie's generic regardless of his design, but he looks fantastic. And I don't know why nobody's complained about Robotnik. Maybe because Sonic looks so good, but in my opinion, it still bothered me the whole movie. Like, we don't even get a slightly Robotnik-looking Robotnik until the very end when he goes crazy and he finally has the mustache and the bald cap. But for the whole movie, he just looks like Jim Carrey in Michael Jackson's Beat It jacket. That's it. He's just Jim Carrey. and he's basically playing Ace Ventura for the whole movie. But we can leave that for now. But the point is, nobody complained about Jim Carrey just being Jim Carrey. He doesn't talk like Robotnik. He doesn't act like Robotnik. He doesn't sound like Robotnik. He doesn't look like Robotnik. Even at the end, when he does have the bald cap and the mustache, he's still thin. I mean, they didn't even give him black pants. Even when he has on the traditional Eggman red jacket, his pants are also red. Why they couldn't make his pants black to fit Robotnik's outfit, I don't fucking understand. I also don't understand why he doesn't have on the red jacket right from the beginning of the movie, but rather has it on when he's in the ship about halfway through. I don't understand those choices. And I didn't like the way Robotnik felt the whole movie because he just doesn't feel like Robotnik. I still think he played the role well, and he did have the I'm a genius ego that Eggman has in the games, but other than that, he's just Jim Carrey playing a exaggerated Ace Ventura the whole movie. It's not bad per se, but it's extremely unfitting, to say the least. I also made this video here called Can the Sonic Franchise Be Saved? I urge you to watch this video. It's a great video I made, and in one part of the video, I went on talking about 6 games I think Sonic Team should make that would save the franchise. And with those 6 games and the movie, I think the entire Sonic franchise actually can come back alive, because I mean it's been getting so much hate the last, I would say, close to 10 years, to be honest, maybe even longer. But people love the movie. There is a chance now that Sonic can come back up from the grave. There is. And the last thing I want to look at is this video here that gives a great summary of what's happened with the movie. It's uploaded by Memology 101. Let's take a quick look. So it starts off with a beautiful tweet by Jeff Fowler, who's basically thanking all the fans for giving so much love to the movie, and that's great. We rarely ever see anymore a director actually thanking the fans. Let's see what else we got. And he says, instead of lashing out at the fans for criticizing Sonic's initial design. Yeah, see, that's another thing. A lot of directors would probably just insult the fans or lash out because, you know, we hated the design, but instead he thanked us for encouraging him in the studio to fix it. Jeff went and put his whole team to work and give fans what they wanted. Exactly, and that's what the most important thing. That is something that's very dead in modern day. Exactly, the usual outrage crowd could learn a thing or two from him. Yeah, exactly. I said we tried making a Sonic movie for everyone, from the amazing core fan base of almost 30 years to an entirely new generation. Seeing these stats makes us feel incredibly proud we might have succeeded. I think you did, and you might have saved the franchise. Yeah, he also didn't care about the critic score because, like, you know, a lot of directors, I think, are going to care more about the critics rather than the fans, because even though the critics are fucking idiots and are a smaller portion of people, they also, just like SJWs, have the loudest voice. You know, it's the critics who make the articles or talk on the news or whatever. And the fans, well, we're just people on YouTube or writing comments. But rather he thanks the fans instead of talking about the critics, because number one, he knows what's more important, and he also knows that the critics' opinions don't matter anymore, just like a modern day journalist. Oh yeah, I also wanted to mention briefly about the end of the movie. We actually see this Robotnik right at the end in what appears to be Mushroom Hill from Sonic 3. And after the credits, we also get a hint of a sequel to this. I'm not going to tell you what the hint is in case you haven't seen it yet, but there is a hint to a sequel. And of course, Robotnik appearing like this with the mustache and bald cap right at the end of the movie also hints to a sequel. And I think a sequel is actually a good idea. I think it would work. There hasn't been... and I wouldn't call it a cash grab per se. Obviously, they want money. But it doesn't feel like a cash grab because Sonic is something that's been dying or dead for like well over 10 years, and he really needs this to get back up. Mario has been the forefront of the video game industry across the board for 30 years. It's Sonic's turn to finally get a foot back. He knows critics are just trash journos that feed on fake outrage. Yeah, they are. Their opinion is ultimately worth shit. It always has been. Pure gold that the SJWs are so mad. So those are my thoughts. If you have seen it, what did you think?